Welcome to Boxcars, Warmachine and Hordes supplementary podcast for War Room PL YouTube channel.
Welcome to episode 17 of Boxcars. I am Marcin and I play Signar.
And I am Rafał and I play Krix.
Ton.
Still.
So it's
on Krix 2017.
I'm all in on Signar for I don't know how long, 1.5 years.
Since
the beginning, yes. With some small breaks for minions. But I'm slowly gathering other factions as well. Yeah.
To have a choice.
To have a choice in the future.
We are very sorry for the break in the recording, but real life and vacation took the toll, I would say. Because I had 3 weeks vacation first, then you had 3 weeks vacation, then it was Iron Moot. Yeah. Because that's the reason why we didn't. And last week there was
Polish Masters in between as well. So we have been active. We had been active in
Warmachine.
I have reached my 150 games for 2017 point somewhere at Iron Moot. So right now I don't have to play any games anymore. So it's just we couldn't. It was either I was on holiday with my family, or you were on holiday with your family, or we have been at tournaments, or I have been at training triathlon. So real life in between, and it was really difficult.
Yeah, I think
together.
Vacation will be always difficult, I think, for the recording, but if you have other obligations, let's say, because normal year is easier.
If you take a look at YouTube, if you follow the various pages that have battle reports, then you will notice drop in activity in most of them. Only the really, really active ones stayed reasonably often, and the rest, the vacation is taking its toll on everybody. But it will be soon over, so we will play more. We'll play more. Yeah. We'll try to be more regular with the podcast. So,
but I uploaded my first games from Iron Moot. I have still one to upload, and I will do it. Yeah. So you can be proud of me. And but
we'll get to that to the games recording and everything. But from news section we'll be recording. We have been recording at Iron Moot, as you said. There's a bunch of videos. I think we recorded around 50 games. I think we are close. We have uploaded close to those 50 games. And many thanks to Torbjorn for supporting us on site as a technical
managing
person and
managing. He learned Polish because I didn't have English set up as a language in the system, so he had to learn Polish, and he learned that.
And he organized the commentary, and I think without him on spot, it would be much less games. I mean, it was more difficult than I imagined, because we had 4 recording sets set up at all times. So all 3 games we recorded constantly, and most of that was thanks to Torbjorn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we missed 2 months, so there were so many news that I see no point on discussing them generally. Yeah. The only thing that there will be new teams soon, probably after WTC, and the game will change completely after that.
Yeah, I think so too.
The meta will evolve because people have been playing the same list or similar list for a long time. Right now for WTC, the most active players that make the meta flow, so to say, and they will be bored with those lists, so they will try to something new, and to that new teams will drop. So there will be a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I think that since February we have been encountering, let's say, first the Ghost Fleet, and it is a meta impactful thing. Then Battle Engine, but honestly, only in Signar I think the Battle Engine is really strongly influencing the meta. So really not that many changes, I would say, because
you say that because you see it from the point of view of Europe, and maybe not even Europe, but Scandinavia after Iron. But if we take a look at USA, I didn't see so much signal there.
Yeah, that's right. And besides, I think that I mean the situation is pretty stagnant. The Kriegs got a real boost with the Dark Host. It's a really interesting and powerful theme. But the rest of the bunch is like similar to beginning of 2016, I would say. Of course, Scorn is there, but Scorn is still underrepresented as a player number. So we have a talk about what is popular and what is not, because we are thinking about other things also. Yeah. And it was funny because we checked the topic numbers on the Lorma Hordes and the how many posts, because it somehow translates into popularity. And the most popular thing on the Lorma Hordes is trolls. I think
it's interesting because they are viewed as
weakest
factions, or least powerful factions.
And in Warmachine, it's Khador by the long way, and Signar is on the same level as Protectorate. Is more popular than Signar or Kriegs, for example. So it's really interesting that I think that Lorma Hordes is mainly used by the USA, so you can see the difference in the popularity, I would say.
Yeah, I was actually very surprised seeing last results from Gen Con. Not that Signar didn't win or wasn't on top 3, but in general, how little of Signar players were there. It was really... After Iron Moot, where we had final day, spoiler alert, was it 6 Signar, 5 Kriegs? There was almost none of that on Gen Con in finals. So
yeah,
really interesting. All right, so what today's topic will be Iron Moot in general. So we'll tell you about our experience on Iron Moot and our games.
Yeah, and it was quite a long Warmachine weekend travel log, I would say.
It took for us 4 days, most of 4 days to get there and play and go back. And I was really energized after that to continue on my Warmachine adventure.
Yeah.
So thanks to all opponents and organizers that were there. It was a great event. I really cannot say anything bad about it.
No, it was great.
It was great.
Yeah, the people and the organization was great, and venue was really good, and everything was really, really fine. It's sad that it was the last Iron Moot, at least for now, because the organizers informed that it was the last one. They want to take a break, but we are going next year to the something that is would be similar to Iron Moot meta-wise, because it will be in Norway, right? On 2018.
Yes. Hopefully somebody will pick up the Iron Moot. Maybe a different set of people that have the capability to do it, continue with it. We'll see. For now, the organizers that have done it don't want to do it anymore. So it's understandable. People carry on with their lives, and everybody has a will to do it.
Year after year after year.
Year after year, exactly. Maybe they will drop 1 year and then continue next year. We'll see.
Yep.
So So the story of the Iron Moot began for us with the
travel.
with the travel. So you had a bit longer start from me because you had to go or 2.5 hours with the car to my home.
Yeah, then we went together for 2.5 hours to the
ferry.
To the ferry, yeah.
Yeah, then I got a speeding picture in Germany when we were searching for the ferry entrance, and I didn't notice that we are now in so to say slower. Urban area. The urban area was a wood, so so I didn't notice that. But anyway, we got to the ferry. And because it was an overnight ferry that was only going 4 hours, so they didn't have any cabins, so we had to sleep in. I booked us
special,
the
armchairs.
Yeah, it's like airplane chairs, so to say. For
so definitely not comfortable.
But I was a bit surprised that people were going around with their own stuff for sleeping.
Like
the pillows,
blankets,
blankets and everything. So, what the hell is going on here? But we went to our chairs and they were taken by some family. We had to ask them, do you have a ticket? And they, we have it, but we left it in the car. All right. And I have mine with me. So, and it says it's this place. So we kick them out from our places. And we tried to get some sleep, but we didn't have any pillows. And,
until the last 20 minutes.
So we tried to get some sleep, and it was really hard. There was snoring all around, and there was a light in the corridor, so
it was uncomfortable.
The chair was uncomfortable. So let's say from the 4 hours we got maybe 1.5 hour of sleep, and I couldn't sleep at the end, so I went to the store on the ferry and I found pillows. So I bought us pillows. So last 20 minutes were less uncomfortable.
The funny thing was that when we were talking about that later, I thought, because I was, I couldn't sleep, so I slept like 15 minutes and then looked around, and I always saw that Marcin was sleeping all the time, and I thought, oh, he's getting a lot of sleep now. And he thought exactly the same.
I thought exactly the same. Yeah, but in the end, neither of us got any sleep or any comfortable sleep. So we went to the car in the morning. We ate early breakfast on a ferry. Drank some coffee and went on. I think 3
hours.
Something.
3 hours. Yeah.
So we got to the
around 7, I would say.
We couldn't take any rooms because they were first ready in afternoon. I don't know, 2 o'clock or something, after 2 o'clock. So you just sat in the lobby and slept. Yeah,
I just sat and slept for 40 minutes or something like that.
And I went searching for the organizers so we could start setting up. And in the end, I found them and we waited a bit. I think we started setting up around 8 and the tournament started around 9.
Yeah.
And actually it went pretty smoothly. We did set up everything for recording and we started the tournament more or less on time.
Yeah, it was okay. The funny thing about the tournament was that I was so tired that I don't give a shit about any game whatsoever. And but Marcin is a little bit less easygoing about results, let's say, of the games. But he was also so easygoing. I have never seen you like this.
Actually, I didn't care at all. I just wanted this day to be over. At least for the first 2 games, I was the fun fact, when I was trying to remember my games, I forgot we had a tie break. I had the first game I had recorded and I couldn't remember the second game. and I spent like 2 hours trying to remember my games from the first day.
Yeah, it was
until I went on tiebreak, and then I remembered I remember all of the games except the second one, and thanks to tiebreak, I also then found out what was the second game I played.
Yeah. I think that it was the Champions event, by the way, and we had to use the forecasters. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about the list. I had Agatia Ghost Fleet and Asphyxious Free Dark Host. Agatia Ghost Fleet was very standard Ghost Fleet, I would say. I had 4 Arknauts, no Stalkers. And the Shade Free was, not Shade, but Gatsby Free was with double Knights, 1 unit of Warriors, and Right Engine and some Jacks. And honestly, after the tournament, spoiler alert, it felt like playing, like playing with the toy car, and everybody was running a sports car beside me. So yeah, that was my 2 lists. You can find them soon on the website, because I will post my blog about the Iron Moot. I post first part, so I will post this week the second part, and it will be list included.
Yeah. So I played Kane 3, which the list I really like, and I was really happy that Kane is in Champions in ADR. The list I have tried out and played like many times. 4 Chargers, Ace, Hurricane, and Junior with Sentinel and the Squire and Arlan. So that was Kane, and then I had Bet Maddox list. I played 3 times before that, and I don't feel Maddox very good. She has some deeper game, but I cannot see this for real. She feels like a buff bot. Really, she buffs her army with some nice spells, and I cannot see she's not doing anything for me.
Yes, she's very passive caster. It's sort of like I got here, just Parasite and Ghost Walk, and that's all, right?
Yeah. So with Maddox, I had, if I remember correctly, I had Stormclad and Ironclad and Junior with the Firefly. Squire and Arlan, and Battle Engine, 2 full units of Lances, and what's our dragoon called?
Lathermore.
Yeah. She's so bad that I don't remember her anymore.
Sure.
I haven't played Lances in months now. Alright, so that was my Maddox list, or close to that. You can see the first game I played on video, then you can check out.
I think.
Oh, sorry, I didn't play Maddox the first game.
But I played, I think, my Dark Host list on the video also on the first game, so you can also check the list there. Maybe I will start with my first game. I played against, tiebreak is great. I played against Morgan Akeson. He was playing Signal, Kane 3, double Cyclone, and assorted Chargers and things like that, Ace and other things. I was immensely tired. I ran forward and he rolled all the 6s he could. Like, I don't know. I remember that he rolled 5 times 6 on the Cyclone number of shots and shot me to death like very, very easily. I even tried to get some crazy assassination, but the dice didn't cooperate. So it was a really fast game, and I don't remember much except dying like sort of like medieval people running at machine guns.
I mean, being tired is a thing.
Yeah.
If you are tired, then the games don't go as planned. So we should probably think about it for next time. We'll try something like this. So my first game was against Sergey. He played Mercs with Magnus 2, and I played Game 3. And I don't remember much from this game. I remember that I had a plan that I started executing, and during this plan I remembered that Magnus 2 has a feat, so I should probably play around that if I don't want to lose on scenario. And then during this plan I changed it and started doing something else, and then again I changed it and I started doing something else. And in the end, I lost on scenario because changing plan twice during one game doesn't work out.
No, that's right.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Probably the game is not worth watching unless you want to see how not to play Game 3. But the game is recorded and I lost it on scenario. But on the other hand, Sergey is a good player, so probably I should be fully rested playing against him. So
yeah.
So that was my first game. Being tired is an issue.
Yeah. My second game, I'm gonna check this out. My second game was against Marcin Nowicki, Linus Valin, and he played Kador, and I dropped Ghostlit Agatia because I thought that Ghostlit is really good in the Kador, and it was, honestly, but this time I had a plan, and I tried to assassinate. He ran forward with Irusk 2, I think, or Irusk 1, I don't remember. And I had a really fine assassination on him, but I couldn't roll shit. And again, my opponent was excusing me, this time for my own dice. The last one was excusing for his own dice. Now it was mine dice. And I tried the assassination and was very tired. When it didn't go off, then I shook the hands and conceded. And it was a wise decision after all, because the next 3 games I played, I think I get some sleep or something. I don't remember. Maybe I drank a lot of coffee, but the next 3 games were more. I remember more of them.
Yeah, I wanted just to say that after the first 2 games, that we were really tired, and then we ate some food on lunch. We drank some coffee, and the rest of the day was much better, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I also feel this. So my second game was against Henrik, and he played Quicks, Agatia with Ghostly, and I think I didn't start. I think he started, and he jammed me, or maybe I started and he jammed me hard with the pirate. I don't remember how the game.
But I think it's recorded, right?
It is recorded, so you can check it out in detail. But there was a point that I got jammed really hard. So everything I had was, so to say, float with running pirates. But I had an angle on Agadia, meaning she was in range of 2 chargers. The only issue was that I had I think 10 models in the way to clear. For those 2 chargers to take place and shoot at Agatia. But I managed to do this cleaning because Kane is awesome at cleaning infantry. He's got Black Penny and High Rat. So I have fitted and removed everything that was in the way. And I think Agatia was 19 inches from both chargers. So I had to speed them up to take position. But in the end, I think she died on the first charger. I didn't even have to use the second one. But it's hard if you want to do some work with your caster and you don't keep him completely outside of threat range, then he's at risk of dying. Yeah. But I think Henry could have avoided this assassination, but just keeping idea a bit further back or camping more. Maybe camping more would not be solution if I rolled well on chargers, but staying a bit further back would have saved him. Yeah. So that was my second game.
Okay. And it's funny because my third game, I played against David Granberg, Convergence of Cyrus. I won on scenario, but I don't remember anything. And I thought, I don't remember what my opponent was playing. I know that I played Gatsby free, that's for sure, because I played Agatia only once. But honestly, like 2 last games, I have some ideas, and I remember. This game, I don't remember anything. I don't even remember that I played that. I don't remember that I played Convergence. So I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah. Yeah. So my third game was also against Convergence of Crisis. It was against Olof. Olof is generally a very good Signar player, but he decided that Signar doesn't have good casters for champions, so he took Convergence. And because I figured out that with so many shield guards, Kane would have a difficulty against careful opponent, and I think Olof is a very careful opponent. Kane would have difficulty killing Iron Mother, and I think that would be his only win condition actually. So I took Maddox, hoping that the Lances plus Storm Strider would be enough. And because I don't have so much experience into Convergence, he showed me how painful the assassination from Mother is, and he dominated my Stormclad, took him in the middle of the board with domination, and then put the spell that gives feedback and shoot him with everything. And I think my caster survived on 2 boxes or something, or 3 boxes, something close to that. So I retreated my 2 remaining jacks from Maddox, so they didn't take any part in the battle, and were outside of his threat ranges. And I continued on grinding game to the end, but in the end I lost on scenario. It was a grindy game, but so to say, I tried to do something, but at the end was only one possible finish to that. I could not get ahead on scenario, and I could not kill his Primaxium without my jacks being forward. And if I only put one of my jacks forward, then Maddox would die. And even if I used my last Ironclad, he would not take down Primaxium. So
yeah,
so that was
rather one-sided game, right?
Yeah, I tried to get to scenario angle because I had 2 units of lances, and he only had his caster and a unit of mechanics that could score, and he didn't want to risk his caster. And it was a scenario with 2 square zones and 2 round zones.
Yeah.
But that was very difficult because the moment I was scoring, he was attritioning me down, and he could contest scenarios with his orbs that he was creating with Tep and with Primaxium.
Okay.
So he was actually contesting for free, and I had to use my lances to contest, so I was attrition down slowly. Yeah, but so the game took, I don't know if it didn't took 7 rounds or 6 rounds.
It was a very long game.
Yeah,
I think it was game. 7 rounds, and you lost on points, but it was not like it's.
No, it wasn't a lot of points. I think maybe he was 2 ahead or something. I don't remember exactly, but he had it under control, so to say. It's not like he couldn't. If you risk a bit more, he could go ahead. But he was playing cagey, had it under control. He didn't see any reason to risk. If I had some luck, I could. If I managed to kill his mechanics, maybe it could swing a bit. But
Okay.
Yeah.
My first game.
Definitely not an easy matchup. So.
Yeah, it's not an easy matchup, at least for the list that you had. My first game was, what is Warmachine all about? I played against Kemal Lindstrom Gul 7. He was playing Trollblood's Grizzle 2. I remember this game very well. So he had a lot of shooting. He had like a bomber, fire troll, 2 units of fire eaters, and some shooting guys like Highwayman, Braylon, and other things, and the big carriage. And I was playing my Gaspy Freely, so 2 units of knights and warriors, and battle engine, and some assorted jacks and solos, and Darograph, yeah. And it was the first game that I remember very well because it had an epic ending. We were playing back and forth. I was winning on attrition. I cleared one zone and was scoring up on scenario. And then he decided that it's time to try to assassinate me. But I fitted earlier this turn and put Gaspy free like in front, in the middle, in the range of his army. But Gaspy free has a special feat. If you damage him, if you use Focus or Fury, he heals D3 and he gets 1 soul. So he was trying to kill me with 1 fire eater, shooting and everything else. I was like, I knew that it would be an assassination attempt, so I camped like 4 or 5, I think. I just used 1 spell or something like that. And I tried to clear all the threats, and he shot me, got me at one moment, I think, to 3 or 4 HP. And then, because I rolled very poorly on my healing, but then it started to come back and I rolled 3 times 6 or 5 on healing. So I healed up 9, and assassination didn't went off. So I ended the assassination with 22 focus. Yeah, because he really did everything, because everything was shooting at me or in my control area. So I was getting for every fury that he spent, or because Grizzle was also shooting at me and with this knockdown gun and everything, and he was boosting and everything was, it was a lot of things involved. So I had, I think, 20 or 22 focus next turn, and I was in charge. I cast mobility, I cleared a line to Grizzle, and I charged with my Gaspy free into Grizzle and used maybe 5 focus to kill her. And so it's Warmachine at its finest. Caster versus caster. Really funny game. I never had 20 focus. And Gaspy is really funny because if you don't have a proper amount of power output, then he will just weather the assassination and then kill you next turn. Because you usually will be his range, because he can charge with up to, let's see, calculate, it's 5, 6 with Darak, 8 with mobility, plus 5 from the charge, so it's 13 inches, right? So quite a long way. And so it was a really funny game, a long one and enjoyable.
Yeah, and I had a very short game, game number 4. I played against Peter. He had minions with Helga. In my few games with minions, I played Helga, so I knew a bit about her assassination potential and what she can do. But I think he never played against Kane 3, so he didn't respect him enough. So I won the roll-off. I started. I ran everything forward. He advanced cautiously, put Helga into cover. But the way he did put Helga was that she was partially sticking out from behind the wall.
Okay.
So I fitted with Kane, build up synergy, and my Colossal slammed a guy that was before Helga into her to knock her down. and the rest of my army shoot her dead.
Okay.
So turn 2 assassination.
Okay.
But he thought he was safe behind the cover because she was defense actually 17 plus 4, 21. She was defense 21 and armor 19, I think, because of her defensive spell and the cover. But it wasn't enough. If he was more behind the cover, I would say the odds were with the transfers. The odds were low that I would kill him, but he gave me an angle with slam to knock him down, and it was just downhill for him from there.
That's the way of game.
Exactly. That's why I love game so much.
Okay, and my last game, fifth one, was against Sergey, the one that you lost, that you played against in the first game. And I got a rematch, Polish rematch against Sergey. I was against playing Gaspi 3 and he was playing Magnus. And it was Magnus Kingmaker with some jacks and 2 units of halberdiers and trenchers.
Funny thing, didn't Sergey only bring Magnus?
Yeah, that was right. Because
he had only 1 list, right?
Yeah, but it was okay list. I mean, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
And it was allowed, I think, in the champions.
I think it was. Yeah.
So it was not a problem anyway, because it was no DNC there, I think. Anyways, the game was pretty straightforward due to the Gaspi gives concealment to 1 unit and other unit was hiding in the clouds, and my knights were having armor 20 or most of the time, so he couldn't shoot me really with anything. And he jumped me with his jacks fitted. I survived the jump, didn't lose on scenario, and then Krix did what Krix does, so I just finished most of his jacks in the melee. Because this is what Krix is for. If you bring heavy jacks into Krix, then you usually lose them all, and I lost some Banes and get some more in return. So it's really not difficult. And Gaspi 3 has Hex Blast, and so I just Hex Blasted with Scarlock and Gaspi some of his models. So with AoE, I managed to kill even more of the trenchers and halberdiers. It was pretty one-sided game. We thought about that and talked a lot about that with Sergey, that he had to change the list accordingly to face Krix, and this list was not prepared for the Krix. So rather, I won a scenario 5-0, but it could have ended any other way. Also, I was trying assassination also, but didn't manage because Magnus is really hard nut to crack. But at the end, I think I can say my results. It was like, so with 3 wins and 2 losses, I was like 11th. Okay.
All right. 2 wins and 2 losses. Yeah. So my last game was against Amund, and he brought mercenaries with cephalics, and I don't remember his second list. But I remember talking to you before.
Yeah.
Since you said, no, he will not drop cephalics against you. And my opponent said, I only brought my cephalics. So the second list is just like on the paper. I don't use it. So what's the cephalic siphon?
Yeah, it was siphon, because it's in the idea. So he had some units, I suppose, and 4 or 5 monstrosities, right?
No, he had just 2 monstrosities and a lot of units.
So it was like Texas list, but in siphon version. And he wants to play with monstrosity because his feat is all about monstrosities. Only.
Exactly. But because he was afraid of assassination, he kept his caster pretty far back, and monstrosities behind him, so he can sack pound to them.
Okay.
And he threw on me his units, and Siphon has this buff spell to his units that gives them additional armor and they cannot be knocked down, I think, or slammed or something. So he was throwing that spell on the unit and pushing it forward, and I was I was killing off a unit by unit every round, or maybe 1.5 unit around. I think the mistake he has done was he didn't run everything forward round 1, round 2, and jammed me and killed me off. Instead, he was trying to get to me in waves, and this is what Kane likes, because he can then kill each wave separately, concentrate on part of the army, kill it off, and then he gets another wave. So it wasn't the attrition was really my favor in the end. I was really down on the clock, because it's really taking its time to kill off so many dudes, and he was just shoving them into me. But in the end, I managed also to kill his caster, and but that was purely attrition one battle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I was also 3-2. I don't remember what.
You were 10th. So
10th. Okay, one place before you. But it was pretty good considering our lack of sleep deprivation, so to say.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit.
We promised ourselves
to go to sleep.
We promised ourselves that we will sleep and the next day will be better.
Yeah. And it was true that it was better the next day. So we just drank, I think, a Coke or something like that, and went to sleep, both of us.
Yeah, exactly. And I was sleeping like a baby.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Then we had a very nice breakfast, and we started day 2, and day 2 masters we took part in. I took KD2 and Kane 3.
Yeah, we were playing Steamroller, I think. ADR it was called, right?
Yeah, Steamroller.
Because we didn't get any. Why we were playing Champions on Steamroller ADR, you may ask. It was because when we registered for Iron Moot, it was like
nothing else
we were last 2 players to register, I think, and it was like 1.5 days after they opened the registration. So there is no problem with turnout in Iron Moot. Yeah, so. Anyway, so you were playing Haley 2 and Kane? Do I remember correctly?
Yes. So Kane 3 was the same list I used the day before in Champions. And Haley 2 list was Electrobots. So anybody who doesn't know the Electrobots, it's 3 modified Electrobots, sorry. So it was 2 Stormclads, Defender, I think, and Battle Engine.
Yeah.
And I think Firefly and Charger, something like this.
Okay. My lists were standard Danny 1 Ghost Fleet, and I was playing Scar 1 with Dark Host that was very similar to the Gatsby 3. So 2 units of Knights, 1 unit of Warriors, Battle Engine, and assorted solos and Stalkers, of course, because it's Scar. So it was like that, pretty straightforward list. So I will start. I played first game. I played against Kador. It was Irusk with ADR. So I think it was Irusk 1. I dropped. He had many infantry units. He had Kayazi Assassins, and he had Winter Guard 2 units with rockets, and he had several jacks. It was all combined arms lists. So I dropped my Ghost Fleet because I know it's really good into Kador. I can get assassination angle. I can attrition him well. And honestly, the game was going according to the plan. I only had, as always, when facing a very big army with a lot of models, I was facing clock problems. But I was winning on a scenario. But at the end, a stroke of bad luck almost brought everything to nothing because I just couldn't kill one jack that was parasited, and I think also had a Dark Shroud or something like that. And I just couldn't kill him, not roll 3 times in a row. But with last final attack, I managed to do it, and I won on scenario 6-1. But it was a very long game, and I was surprised because normally Kador is not a problem because you can assassinate the caster. usually, but he had Ayana and Hold, so he could kill my Black Brains, and I couldn't threaten the caster. And with solid ground, so no knockdown, and tough on many units because it's a bubble around Irusk, I couldn't kill them fast enough, so I couldn't score also easily. So it was very tough game, and I think that this sort of list, when you have tough, no knockdown, and a lot of models, it's really troublesome for Ghost League because both sides can lose on the clock.
Yeah. Okay.
You were playing, I can tell you. You were playing Mer.
Yeah, I was playing Mer.
Okay.
She had minions.
Okay.
And I don't remember the second caster, but she took Barnaba to against my Heli too.
Mm-hmm.
And her Barnaba list had 2 battle engines. Can't remember the name of it. The Sacral Vault.
Okay.
2 Sacral Vaults. And I think that build is not optimal. I think 2 Sacral Vaults is too much. They don't do enough work for their points. One is maybe okay because of the spell mitigation and also remove from play effects, etc. And anti-infantry. So 1 would be okay, but 2 is not optimal, especially against the Heli. So Heli done what Heli does against melee armies. I ran forward
and he had 3 turns of killing, and he had 0 turns of killing, and he lost.
Because of it was Merete, so she lost. Heli has alpha because she's got longer threat ranges. Barnaba can, if he fits in the right spot, he can blunt a bit my feet. But Merete hold Barnaba's hit. She probably was hoping for assassination angle against Heli. But I kept Heli with force field, so she couldn't be knocked down. So my alpha took down both battle engines, and I fitted. So after the initial alpha, I have taken his beasts, 2 of his beasts, and her beasts. And the game was over after that. She tried some assassination shooting Heli, but it was very long shot and didn't work out. So I won in the end, 1 on scenario in that. But so it was actually attrition battle win before scenario win.
Okay. My second game was against Anton, and honestly, I'm trying to remember what he was playing, but I cannot find it out, honestly, because there are no information. So can we check it somehow or not really? No, not really.
No, it wasn't recorded, then probably not.
Yeah, I don't see his list at all, so I'm not going to make something up. It was what can I get from the results? It was just give me a sec. I won on scenario 5-0, so I suppose I don't remember honestly what my opponent was playing. So let's make it like that. I didn't kill anything, and he killed just 6 points. So I suppose it was pretty. Yeah, I think it was pretty fast because I came to you and we were talking. I was watching your game, so let's make it like this.
Yeah. All right. I played my second game against Gustav, and he was playing Legion with twins, and thanks to Arek, and I was playing Kane 3. So because Kane 3 is my Legion drop, thanks to Hurricane.
And thanks to Arek, you didn't lose your head with critical decapitation.
Yeah. Thanks to Arek, I more or less remember what twins do, and that they have a lot of tricks, and I knew the twins' threat ranges. Gustav was playing a bit different build than Arek ever had, because Gustav was using two battle engines, two thrones, and he used them to cover his advance, so I couldn't get to his beasts before the thrones. Of course, I could have tried to shadow fire them, but it's a risky thing to do, because a throne can easily take down a light, maybe light and a half, and then do some spells from that. So going to shadow fire the throne and then shoot something behind it means that you are risking everything. And right behind the thrones was going his caster, one of the twins, the one with the sword, so the more dangerous one. So she would wreck anything that I would put too much forward. Okay. So I decided to play this on attrition, not assassination angle, and I fitted and took down both of his thrones. And a little fun fact, because Gustav is playing a lot in Scandinavia against Signar, because the Signar is really strong there. One of his friends came by and said, It's enough if you only say that Signar is weak, and Gustav will trip. And well, he was a very good sport about it, but I could see that he was tripped in the moment that Kane has done around 100 damage to his army on my feed turn. So he's done only thing he could. He pushed everything he had forward, including his casters, to jam me up. And he asked a question: if you can kill my caster on almost full camp, then you win. If you don't, then my caster will kill your castle. That was actually the question. So I had like 40 or 50 minutes for my assassination plan. And I took the time to work out my plan, and it was because he had occultation on his caster unit, and one of his caster was in cover and behind a beast. So I needed a lot of puzzle pieces placed together to get this assassination off. First, I had to deal with the stealth. So one of my lights slammed his caster that was more forward, and I needed boosted 10 to hit that slam, and I rolled it. So I knocked his caster over and killed her with shooting. Because she was stealth, I needed to go close.
But you didn't use Mage Sight?
I didn't use Mage Sight because I needed all the focus for assassination and to give to Jax. So I wanted to go, and I was actually jammed with his unit, so I had enough stuff to go close and kill her even with transport. Especially that I needed to knock her down because I would not manage to hit her so many times with her defense up. So I killed first of the twins pretty easily. So the second one lost her occultation, but she was still defense 16 in cover, so defense 20. Not easy to hit, and she had like 5 transfers or something. So my plan was the second, and Kane also put how's the spell called, Calamity on the unit. One of the unit died, but the Calamity is upkeep that stays on the unit, so the second caster was still under influence of Calamity. So my second light had an angle to try to slam his second caster, and I needed this time an 8, and I rolled that 8, so I slammed her behind the cover, and then it was just shadow fire the beast that she was hiding behind and kill her.
Okay.
And actually I used my colossal that went there and slammed her, not slammed her, but smashed her a couple of times, and she was even with transfers.
Okay. So
that was
so Legion, I mean, Kane 3 is really good into Legion, right?
He is, I think so, yeah. It's just, you have to be very careful not to give Legion any assassination angles, because he can dive to a couple of sprays, or I had him die to a fire after one shot, because he usually doesn't camp anything or just camps one. So if you get fire on him, boosted damage, like boosted 14, it's dice +1. So even with focus, he loses like 6 or 7, and then afterwards it's another 12, so dice -1. So from only those two rolls,
he can die.
If he gets only one, if he gets only one beast that we put Kane on fire, he can die from that. So it's really easy to lose him. So I don't enjoy playing against Legion with Kane, because it's really a matchup that requires you to consider all the possible assassination angles coming from Legion.
I think that I remember a little bit now about the second game. I played against Protectorate with my Scar 1 list, and it's funny how the mind of a person works. But I thought about something, and I thought about the game that I couldn't connect with anything, with any tournament. So it was that I was playing a guy from Russia, I think, and he was playing Protectorate CV2. And honestly, he had like 1 unit of endurance and some jacks, and I just locked him out with Scar and one on scenario. So it was the second game. And the third game, we had a rematch with Sergei. He was this time playing Ostrom that was tooled up for the Kriegs. But after the game, we both agreed that it was tooled up for the Kriegs. That was Kriegs before the Dark Host. So I played Scar with 30...
Because there are two eras in current meta: the Kriegs before Dark Host.
Yeah,
Kriegs after
we will talk about that in the second part of our podcast about Iron Moot, I suppose. Exactly. But anyway,
about our meta music.
That will be very interesting, I can assure you. Anyway, so I played against Sergei. He had pretty straightforward Ostrom with gun bunnies and unit of dwarves, small one, I think, and battle engine and some other assorted stuff. And it was, I had 30 Banes, and he could kill per turn, like, I had one where one unit was, or 2 units were in the stealth, because they were in the clouds. Third unit had, was in the forest, I think, so also had stealth, so he could shot me like 1 or 2. Then I jammed him hard and smashed some of his gun bunnies. I fitted and killed a lot. I remember that the funniest thing was that I charged my battle engine into his hammer dwarves. I killed 3. I produced machine rights that then took control of the avalancher that went back, shoot the group of gun bunnies, 5 of them or 4, knock them all down. And then reposition 5, standing backwards toward my army near his deployment zone. So this is the Kriegs at his finest, doing all the shenanigans possible. And after the game, we agreed that it must be really different list with sprays and things like that to cover the Kriegs that is currently operating, because Banes make things. It was a good list into Ghost Fleet, I would say, but definitely not into Banes that can kill Jacks like nobody's business. So
the problem with that Kriegs now is you have to have, if you have to have Kriegs drop, you have to be able to kill a lot of light infantry and not so many, but very hard high armor and stealth infantry.
Yeah.
So
So
a lot of questions.
Yeah, in one matchup. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And you were playing
against Mark, our friend.
Oh yeah. Our friend Mark Whitenstall from England.
Well, so Mark is one of our listeners.
Yeah.
Hello, Mark.
Hello, Mark. Yes, we love you a lot, and we like. We will come to your tournament because we are sure that you are organizing the best ones in UK. So
yeah. So he was playing Retribution of Kyra, and he chose Issyria, and my Retribution drop is Haley 2. And the fun fact is, when I started with Warmachine, and one of my friends that was playing with me on Battle, he played Retribution, and I managed to, when I was learning the game, I played quite a few games against Retribution, but then my friend quit Warmachine, and I think the last game I played against Retribution was in March 2017 on the tournament in Berlin, and in Poland I think there is maximum one person per tournament with Retribution, if any. And then in between, I maybe played one game at home against, or one or two games against Eros, that he started playing Retribution. So I asked Mark quite a few questions about Retribution because I couldn't remember all the rules. But during the game, it started coming back to me, especially when he started throwing spells onto me. Oh, right, Syria has that. Yeah, exactly. All right, so the plan was for me to try to win on Assassination. Mark had not Assassination, but to win on Attrition.
Scenario.
Mm-hmm. Mark had a lot of how are they called?
Mage Hunter Strikeforce.
Mage Hunter
2 units, I think.
Yes, 2 full units, and he had his Colossal. The one with star cannon, and two Archons, one the character deck, the new character deck from Issyria, and one Chimera, I think it's called the light.
The deck with the Archon.
Yeah. So I played at the beginning of the game. The idea was I put one of my Firefly into Fire Zone and try bouncing electrolytes from him to clear the zone, and the other zone I would try to do the same, but I would have to use one of my heavies to clear the zone, and unfortunately it worked out at the beginning. I have cleared the zone early, and I scored. I had a scenario advantage at the beginning of the battle of the game. But at some point it stopped war going my way. I was very, very close. I think I had to kill one dude. The turn was hitting in the back, so I needed to roll 5 to kill him, and then I needed to roll also I think 4 to hit my own jack in the back
with electric,
with electric, and I missed both of those shots. So I failed to kill one dude to clear the second zone and win on scenario. And
you were starting tripping.
Yeah, and it was the tipping point when it started going sideways for me. And I got my battle engine blinded because I put everything on that scenario win, and I made a couple of moves under Haley's feet that I was hoping I will win next round, and I got my battle engine blinded, so there were a couple of things that put me at a disadvantage, and but then Mark has done a mistake. He did put Issyria too close to Haley, and Haley she can kill caster if he's too close. Unfortunately for me, Issyria was behind cover, so if Haley just simply charged her, Issyria, I think his defense 16, behind cover it's 18, so I would have trouble hitting Issyria. So and my only Jack was that was in the vicinity was Jake's Stormclad, and he was out of control of Jake's. But luckily, I did have my Arlan in range of Empower, so I gave my Jack one focus.
Yeah.
And my Stormclad threw Issyria's character Jack into Issyria.
Okay.
I was actually throwing straight away, but he flew the distance, maximum distance, and fell over Issyria. And Issyria, according to the rules, she moved closer to Haley and was knocked down.
Yeah.
So Haley charged with full focus and killed it.
I was surprised because I thought that Issyria could not be knocked down because she's flying. I mean, levitating. Yeah. But it seems not.
Yeah. She's not levitating when she's not.
At least not now. Yeah.
But it was it was a great game. She had a lot of turn of action. I really. It was, I would say, a high-level game for me, and a lot of fun playing against Mark.
Yeah. And I was almost playing him because they changed the matchups. Because at the beginning I was playing Mark, but then something was not.
Yeah, I think somebody dropped and they re-rolled it.
Yeah. And I got Sergey, and you've got Sergey, and then I got Sergey, and you've got Mark. So, yeah, everything was left in the Polish family, but still. It was a different game for both of us. So,
yeah, exactly.
And now we are coming to the final game of the tournament. What was important about this tournament? This tournament gave two places into the invitational that was taking part on Saturday. So that was after the checking the round and pairings, we saw that we are playing together against each other. So it was.
We were both 3-0.
Yeah.
So it was a simple conclusion. We have to fight it off.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about the matchup, and as we are both WTC players in this year, we were thinking about what to test and what to not test. And we played already Haley 2 into Ghost Fleet, so we decided that we'll try Dark Host, my version, into Haley 2. And honestly, because I think it's after we are recording now 1 hour and a little bit more, we can summarize the game. I will, at least from my side. It was melee army against Haley 2, and it ended like that. I managed to piss you off a little bit with the some crazy shenanigan moves and killing your turn in the first turn. But afterwards, it doesn't really matter because, I mean, we agreed that if I killed the Stormclad, it would have been better. But at the end, I don't think it has mattered at all because, I mean, the normal infantry with fixed threat ranges cannot really kill Haley 2 that is with melee jacks and things like that.
The problem of the whole thing is that I still get 2 full rounds of hitting you.
Yeah.
Without your cavalry that has vengeance.
Yeah.
So because your list has.
Yeah. No. I had just 30 models of infantry, 32 in, and that was all. And 1 wound infantry is not good against Haley 2. So
I had some crazy rolls at the beginning.
Yeah, you killed 6 guys with electrics that were armor 18, and electrics, if you don't remember, are power 10. But Yeah, that was the roast, but
just simply raw good.
Yeah, raw good makes people win tournaments. So at the end, Marcin won, winning with me. I took second, and we both qualified for the invitational. So we're at the end both happy, I would say, because last time we played in Szczecin in your Masters, I won with you. So that it was rematch and you won and everybody was, happy.
Yeah, I was definitely happy because I had a good day.
And statuette.
and a nice statue that is now on my
statue shelf
with all the other statues I have.
Yeah.
Mostly from the other gaming systems and not from Warmachine.
No. Yeah, but you have to start somewhere. So I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was the second tournament, so what is left is the invitation tournament, the most important one, and our, let's say, final thoughts, and meta-musing after the Iron Moot and the potential WTC impact of this. But I think we will save it for the next cast, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we can wrap up. So thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you a lot. And we hope that maybe we'll try to record next week so to finish, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, thanks, bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to Boxcars. I hope you liked it. See you soon.